Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Thursday, March 10th from the JEDIOSHI headquarters. Thanks for tuning into the video. We're going to look at some charts today. Wanted to give you also some updates from the things we looked at yesterday. Had another interesting night last night on the Bitcoin chart. We'll dig into that. And then what I wanted to do was look around the world and then also zoom out on Bitcoin and then zoom in pretty quickly. Should be a pretty quick video. Before we get started, please click that like button. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and appreciate that. So first, let's look at equities. We have an interesting bounce here. And honestly, equities and Bitcoin kind of track together. I shared that with you guys in the Telegram, but see this tabletop structure? This is the 5-minute chart. Let me zoom back out on the 1 minute. So equities they've fallen off kind of this top ledge here, right? And we found a reversal here. Not surprising. Look, RSI fading, price fading, great short opportunity right here. And then on RSI strength, break and break, although these two candles were pretty weird. These also corresponded with that wick we had this morning on Bitcoin too. This was 8 o'clock. Bulls tried to take over. 9 a.m. candle. Bears smashed it back down. Bulls regained strength. RSI breaking out. Kind of ignore this spikeage here in the ES chart, which is interesting. You don't see that too often. You did have something back here too. So yeah, there's a struggle here between bulls and bears. We are selling off on this candle into close, which is interesting. But I think there's a chance this thing reverses. And I don't know. I'm feeling that. Let's go to the charts to tell us what we're seeing, right? Because we shouldn't operate on feel or believe or think, right? That's not how we roll. But we really need to resolve this downtrend, right? So until we can break, and I'll look at like the daily chart wasn't as obvious, but we do have some promise here. On this, this is the 4-hour chart, so it's pretty important. RSI did come down and reset, and we're finding strength. Now we have cooled down back to the 50, right? But in my experience, now you do have some mid-range reversals, but what I like, or what I normally or would expect to see, is you have RSI going from one side to the other. So although this did come back and it's stalling out at the 50, yes, this could be a mid-range reversal, but I think chances honestly are better that this actually goes up from here, not down. So we'll have to see how that goes. Don't be surprised to be surprised, right? Of course, but that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this move up, but until, and I could draw the fibs for you, but we've done that a million times. But until we start breaking these trend levels, it's gonna be a climb out. If we can reverse here, right? If the bulls can help us help themselves, really, but if the bulls can climb out of this fib ladder, right? We sit below the 236 right now on the 4-hour, any chart. But we're below the 236. We're trying to push up. We're seeing some bulls trying to push. So does that turn? We'll have to see. But I'm kind of fairly optimistic here that the bulls might be able to take it here. I don't know. Well, we'll see, of course, right? We do have a higher low. So note that it's kind of what we're dealing with in Bitcoin too. If you look at this low, and you have a high here, you have a higher low, you need a higher high. So we really, to move out with Dow theory structure, whatever you want to call it, we need to make a higher high. So we really need equities. I look at the S&P as a view of the broad market. Really need the S&P to come up above 44.55. We need to make a higher high here, for this whole thing to turn around. Yesterday we looked at the Dow market fractal from the 1920s. We haven't really broken that yet. We haven't broken that fractal as much as we've broken the Bitcoin fractal, right? So for me, in my book, honestly, I'm back to classical charting. I'm back to what do the charts say versus following the fractal, especially in Bitcoin. Now, I think the Dow fractal, I think, is still in play. I think there are chances that we can blow off markets. Things are going to have to change, right? Bulls are going to have to take control. But if it's starting and if it's going to happen, this is what you want to see at the very beginning. Could this fall down? Absolutely. you know, but could it also move up from here? You know, there are signs of hope here is my point. But what we need to see from here is we need to see this climb up the fib ladder. I'd really like to see a higher high here on the fib. Well, on structure, but then on the fib at about 44.50 on S&P. So we'll see if we get that. But that's 4 hour. Let's take a look at, we looked at the dollar, and let's look at crude, because we were talking about crude yesterday and kind of what I was expecting at a top. So let me just kind of, I'm gonna zoom out, right? But remember yesterday how I was talking about I want to see kind of multiple kind of lines painted. So my point is, instead of seeing just, you know, a single like a single candle hit the top and then a single candle down, you see how this is daily. You see how you have multiple days kind of painting the thickness here at the top. See that? Every candle's a day here. So you have periods of fall, periods of rise, periods of fall, periods of rise, and then look at this. This is like almost like a layered cake up here, right? Look at all these layers in here with a final blow off and a final up thrust, and then finally we break down on chart structure. Right? So that's what I'm looking at, just to follow up, you know, the day after on what we looked at on the crude chart. But anything can happen. You don't have to have that, but I would be I mean, I guess I'm expecting that. However, crude is down to 106 from 130. That's a pretty big drop, especially for crude contracts. Commodities contracts are pretty big, and this is a pretty big move for crude contracts. So we are on the second day of red after well, I guess third day after all-time high. But second red day, can we get some thrusters in here, basically? Can we kind of paint this? And then we get a kind of a chart breakdown. So that's just to follow up on that. Let's take a look at the dollar. I haven't looked at that all day today. Let's see what it's doing. DXY is at 98.50, so it's fighting. So see how it's painting multiple kind of layers, if you will. I always think of this as like paint, you know, like layers of paint on a wall or whatever. You know, old homes have like multiple layers of paint, that sort of thing. Right, so, you know, just for a single candle, this is daily, so remember that, but this is single candle. I would be surprised if we just single candle our way down. I think we're gonna have to fade it. And what that means is we kind of get this, look, we kind of get, maybe not that, but let's look at another period of time. See up here, this was not just one candle up, one candle down. So if we were going to fall from this, and this is the 702, we looked at this yesterday. You know, I drew it out. See, I drew all this stuff yesterday too. Still here. Expecting this kind of stuff at the top more than I'm expecting just one and done, right? So I think we're going to have to hang up here for a few days or so and kind of paint some thickness up here. And then the bears can finally take it and we get a breakdown. That'll be good for equities and crypto. And if we do, because these, you know, these falling dollar periods are good for risk assets. So you have a falling pattern here, a falling pattern here. And the question is, can we get a falling pattern off the kiss of the 702 from here? You get that down. So we'll have to see. What else did we look at yesterday? It was crude, dollar, equities. That was most of the non-crypto related charts. Let's dive into Bitcoin here. Oh, this is my 1 hour chart, but let's look at let's kind of look at last night and what kind of it means, if anything. On the stream, we were looking at a couple levels, right? So we really haven't broken out either way. I mean, we have fallen off the high point here, you know, so we have, I'd paint that, I'd draw that pattern and that pattern. Let me move this up so you can see it. Okay, so this is kind of the range we're in, and this is the 4 hours, so it's pretty significant. This was all of February was from here to here. So a sideways month, right? I did also have 14 4-hour signal trades in the month of February. So we'll get more into that. It's very exciting. I can also show you the sim traded, back traded results from those trades, and as you can see, these long trades and these short trades, it's made for a very, very, very significant month of February on just the 4 hour signals, right? So But anyways, back to charts, right? We have fallen off here. We moved up. This was what, 2 nights ago, and then last night we fell out, right? But we haven't broken down here or here, but we haven't broken out yet. So what we're waiting for ultimately in the higher time frames is which direction are we coming out of? Do we come out the top side? Are we going to make our move up? Or do we need to come back down here? And maybe it's this level is 33. That's 33K. You know, and I told you guys before, if this breaks, I don't think that holds. I mean, maybe we get a higher high. I mean, if you look at the low, higher low, maybe if we drop, then that holds somewhere down there, and we do something different. So we'll have to see. But kind of big picture, we're waiting for one of these ways to break. But again, and you go back to live stream, we looked at our signals. Weekly is under buy signal. Daily was under, I think everything below monthly was under buy, at least for yesterday. Now, we flashed sell signal on the 1 hour yesterday afternoon. And so that was before last night's drop, which was interesting. So we had a 1 hour sell signal at the top here, but you guys can see it. You guys can spot that, right? Break and break. Look, here you go, guys. Break. Actually, it was on this candle. I'm pretty sure this big body, because I was short here. I had to wait for all this. Pretty painful, but finally got it. Right, so it was right here on my signal was 1 hour RSI confirmation with the candle body close under the line. So the line was, it was whatever, something like that, right? So it was a short signal in my book, and you know, short. However, we did fade a little bit. You just had to stay short, or I did, and then write it down. That was the 1 hour signal. You can see the 4 hour over RSI overlay here. The 4 hour did follow, right, with a breakdown of 4 hour RSI. Right now, what's going on the lower time frame? I'd call the 1 hour a lower time frame. This is what I'm waiting for. This in my book, again, this candle right here is a long signal on the breakup of this kind of range and the breakup of RSI. See that? However, I am waiting for a pullback. It looks like on the lower time frames, looks like this hourly candle got to a low of 39,319. So let's look at the five. Like I go to the 5 minute, right? So what I do is I get a 1 hour signal, and then I zoom in on the lower time frame to look for my entry. So this was that candle that gushed us up at 145. But I don't buy the top there. I actually come to the 5 minute. I don't buy RSI at the top. I buy RSI. Let me just get these other RSIs out of the way. 30, 4 hour daily, gone. Okay. So I guess we're looking at the 1 hour. Okay, yeah, 5 minute. Just the 5 minute. Okay. I want to wait for an RSI reset, because I'm not going to just jump in on a 1 hour signal and buy the top, right? If you do that, then you're going to end up buying that. And I don't want to wait. What I want to do is I want to wait. Now to have a 1 hour signal, I'd like to wait for a pullback here to make my long entry, right? So maybe this RSI gets down here or something. So what I'll do, maybe this needs to be a better color for you guys, but what I'll do is wait, and this might be a couple hours, another hour or so. That's fine. I'll wait instead of sitting in red. Nothing's worse than sitting in red. So wait for that, a little lower time frame. So what I do is I take my signals from the higher time frame and I switch to the lower time frame, and then I wait for the ultimate go signal. And so that's what I'm doing right now. But back to kind of bigger picture, let's do that. I know you maybe aren't interested in day trading and all the details around that, but you know, from a chart perspective, let's look. See, let me take this 5 minute off. I hope you guys are appreciating the rainbow. I use it a lot because on one chart, I can look at, say, the 4 hour. What I'll do is I'll have the 4 hour and then the 1 hour on. And on the 1 hour, I'll look at, it gives me a little bit faster read on what what the faster RSIs are doing. And I don't have to switch between charts and try to remember it, right? So I can overlay the, say, on the daily, I might overlay the 4-hour and the 1-hour and look for confluence of RSIs being on one side or the other to give me a much stronger read on whether the market at this time is oversold or overbought. And hope you guys are enjoying that. It's been a huge thing for me. So this is 15 minutes, but let's just zoom out. Basically, this candle today didn't really do anything. It didn't really change anything. Yesterday's candle didn't change anything either. So these two daily candles haven't significantly changed the game. What we have is we have a higher high. Now we have this RSI was reset above the level here. I'm wondering, and I've mentioned this, do we have to come back down here and reset the RSI? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. What you can see is, we are a higher low on RSI. This could also be a very big possibility. And we don't even have to come down to here. We just keep making higher lows and higher highs. And when we finally get up to here, and then we get a breakdown, that would be our signal on the daily as a sell signal, right? So let's see if you can see all that. You can. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for in the different time frames. But that's it. Let's so the main point is that honestly, I don't think the daily candle today or even yesterday really changed much. It hasn't structurally altered the charts. We're still in a higher low. We're still in this is still low, high, higher low, lower high situation. So until we, like I pointed out earlier, just a second ago, until we really get confirmation either way here. So again, low, high, higher low, but this is not a higher high, it's a lower high, right? So we need a higher high to signal that structure is moving up, or a breakdown here. So again, these two candles don't do much right here. So it's exciting to watch 3,000 point days, and it's not exciting if you're able to watch 3,000 point drops, I know, but that's just the state of the market we're in. I think zooming back out, if equities can bounce, it'll be very bullish for a reversal in risk assets. If we can get equities to bounce here with a fading dollar, I think the Bitcoin can move up, and it could give us both some relief here as we move up. But I'll be here with you, and we'll watch together. And no surprises, guys. That's the name of the game. So that's about it. That's all I had for today. Enjoy your Thursday, and see you in the Telegram. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again.